Okay, 3.4 Continuity of Functions. We say that a function is continuous over a certain interval if you can trace the graph of the function with your pencil and not lift it up. So for example, in this function below, I can trace here with my pencil and not lift it up. This is continuous. Functions that are not continuous are then discontinuous, meaning there's a jump, it's a piecewise function, there's a hole in it, etc. There's several kinds of discontinuities. We see here that this function is not continuous. I could not trace my pencil and stay on the same function. There's an asymptote in the way. If there's a vertical asymptote, we say that there is an infinite discontinuity. Piecewise functions often lead to, or absolute value functions often lead to jump discontinuities. You can see here this is a jump discontinuity, absolute value, or piecewise. You see if I was tracing along here, I would have to lift my pencil up, jump to the rest of the graph. Removable discontinuities happen when we can factor and cancel out one of the factors. So in effect, we remove that place where there would be a hole. We can see that that's indeterminate or a hole. It's a removable discontinuity. I remember this discontinuity by saying a hole has been removed from the graph. We say a graph or a point has continuity if these three things exist. Number one, the function exists at place B, the limit exists at place B from both sides, and that the limit at B is exactly equal to the function at B. Let's check if these examples are continuous at x equals -1. Okay, let's draw the graph here of example number 1. In the denominator, we see there will be a vertical asymptote at -1. And because the degrees are equal in the numerator and denominator, we see a horizontal asymptote at the ratio of their coefficients, which would be +1. So we see that. We also see that the y-intercept will be -1/1, so it intercepts at -1. So we can see the graph like this and like this. Okay, so what happens here when x is -1? Looking at the first point of continuity, f of -1 is going to equal -2/0. That does not exist. So number 1 already does not meet the conditions. This is not continuous. And that's something we could see from the graph. There's no way I could trace my pen along this graph without lifting it up, right? It's not continuous. Okay, number 2, if we put a -1 into G, we put it in here, it's in that interval. Nope, it's in this interval, sorry. If I would put a -1 in for that, I would get the answer of 2. That would be that one. Okay, let's look at the limit now as we approach -1. I've factored the numerator. We can see that this is a removable discontinuity here. It removes, and if we put -1 in for there, we get the answer of 3. This is the second point of continuity. The third point says that number 1 must equal number 2, which it does not. So therefore we say this graph is not continuous, which if you would draw this piecewise function, you would find that too. Continuity principles. All constant functions are continuous, so if x equals 2, yes, you could trace that line, it's continuous. Polynomial functions, power functions, root, some trig functions, sine and cosine, and their inverses, exponential, some log functions are continuous. Rational ones are sometimes. Also, all combinations of these above functions are continuous unless we see here the denominator. Okay, why is it discontinuous at these certain points? At x equals 4 here, why is it just there's a vertical asymptote, so we say that's an infinite discontinuity. At x equals 1, that's here, we see there is a jump. And when there's a jump, we call it a jump discontinuity. At x equals -1, here we see there's a hole. When there's a hole, we call it a removable discontinuity. And at x equals -3, also the same thing, a whole, we call it a removable discontinuity. Here we have to bring back what we learned in Unit 2 about functions. What's the domain here? What are the possible values of x? Well, we see the limiting factor here. We know that has to be 0 or positive. So -9 minus x has to be greater than or equal to 0. When we solve that out, we see that x has to be less than or equal to 9. So the domain here is x such that x is a member of all the way from -infinity to 9 is what this shows. Is this continuous over this domain? Well, yes. We know that this root function is continuous and also a power function is continuous given these rules here. Okay, number 3, consider this function h. If I factor it using the difference of cubes here, x minus 5 times x plus 5 plus 25, this is the SOAP principle, same sign, opposite sign, always positive, and over x minus 5, we see that cancels out. That's a removable discontinuity, right? There's going to be a hole here because x can never be equal to 5. That's what it's written here. X can't be equal to 5. Sorry. This is indeterminate at x equals 5, so there's going to be a hole, removable. And where is it discontinuous? At 5. If we wanted to draw this, we know that this is a quadratic equation. It opens up because the x squared is positive. You could find the zeros, and you would find that there are no zeros. The discriminant is negative, so we know it doesn't cross the x-axis. It looks something like this. And we know it can't be 5. There's going to be a hole right there at 5. Okay, so example number 4, we're supposed to find k if f of x is this piecewise function. In the interval of x is all the way from -infinity till -4 and equal to -4, this function is true. When x is bigger than or equal to -4, this is true. So you can see at -4, both of these should be true. So if we put -4 in to both sides of the equation here, you can see these two sides are equal. That's from here and here. And we solve that out, we get 16 minus 4 is 12. Well, you can pause it and solve it out. When you bring all the k's to one side, we see we're left with k being equal to a -1/2. Let's look at number 5 together. We see this absolute value in the denominator. We see that there's going to be an asymptote here at x equals 2. We see it's undefined at x equals 2, and so therefore that's an infinite discontinuity. There's going to be an asymptote there. We're still looking for the classification of the discontinuity. So when we look here, we can see, yes, that there's an x plus 1. It looks like it's going to be an asymptote. I can see, though, that it can be factored. So here, this is a sum of cubes, x plus 1, same sign, x squared minus, opposite sign, x times 1, and then always positive. It's going to be over the x plus 1. So I can see here, after a factor, we can remove this. It's indeterminate then at x equals 1. Indeterminate meaning there's going to be a hole. If there's a hole, we say this is a removable discontinuity. Okay, C, it's got a parabola there in the numerator in an absolute value sign. I can see here that when I factor inside the absolute value, I do get an x minus 5. It looks like it might be a removable discontinuity just because it looks like I could cancel, but we can't just cancel because of this absolute value. Those aren't just brackets. That said, it's here. We need to know more about this absolute value. Now, we're not so much worried about the x minus 4 absolute value. We're just wondering what happens here when, or how can I cancel things out? So let's do a little sign analysis. We see that after doing this, we've got two regions. In this region where the absolute value of x minus 5 is negative, we can evaluate this limit as x approaches 5 from the left, right here at 5, of negative x minus 5 times the absolute value of x minus 4, absolute value, over x minus 5. Okay, so on this side, yes, it cancels out. We're left with then the limit as x approaches 5 from the left, it's negative times the absolute value of that. Okay, and we're evaluating 5, so we substitute 5 in, and we get the answer of 5 minus 4. I'm sorry, that was supposed to be plus. Arg. It should be negative 9. I factored that incorrectly. Okay, on this side, as x approaches 5 from the right, we're finding the limit of x approaches 5 from the right of, now this absolute value here works out to be positive, so we see it's just itself in round brackets times the absolute value of x plus 4 all over x minus 5. They cancel out, and we're left then with an answer of 5 plus 4 is 9. So when this function comes towards 5 from the left, it equals negative 9. We see that it jumps then and equals positive 9 over here. We see this is a jump discontinuity. D, it's a piecewise function. Let's see what happens as the limit of 2 approaching from the left. That would be this one where x is less than 2. So we use that. We plug that in, we get the value of 3. Now here, when we're approaching 2 from the right, that's this interval, and we get the value of 3. We see here these are equal to each other. We don't have to lift our pen at all. We go along this graph at 3, right at 3, changes here, continue on. This is continuous. Same type of question, piecewise function here. Let's look at what happens to the graph at 2 here, where it changes. If we come at 2 from the left, that's this interval where x is less than 2. So if we put a 2 in here, we will get the answer of 4. If we approach 2 from the right, so that's this interval, we're using this function, we put a 2 in here and we get the answer of 5. So let me draw the graph quickly. Okay, when we look at the graph, this makes sense. When we approach 2 here from the left, we are given this just basic quadratic function. It would be here, it ends at 4. And then at right here, when we approach 2 from the right, we see just a linear function. It's going to have a y-intercept of 1 if we would go all the way right there. It has a slope of 2 over run, or has over run. We approach 2 from the right along this straight line, and at 2 we end up 5. So we can see here that yes, this is definitely a jump discontinuity. And we say, whoops, that's yellow, that's okay, jump continuity for this last example E. Okay, give this assignment a whirl. Page 146, number 1 to 10. Again, if you have any questions, please message me.